Hey, good morning. Boy, those streams of light they're really powerful today, aren't they? Can you see them coming down in my face? I don't know where to move this to get rid of them. Maybe I'm just duly doubly blessed today. So my angel, I don't know. It's not a halo. I can tell you that. Maybe I'm being shot at. I can't really tell. And no matter where I move this, there. If I move it over there, how's that? Let me move all the way over here. Oh, look, a whole new view of my room too. Welcome, and it's Sunday. Some of you are at church. You can watch later. And I hope you're here watching later. Although I do notice, I can tell up at the top here, tells me how many people are with me. And it says there's quite a few of you here. So hop on, kids. I'm glad you're here. Good morning. Hey, first and foremost, I thought this was so interesting. I look up each day what's going on so I can share with you about what's going on in the world and, like in the past, what this day has meant. And usually it's like I get everything and more than I want. I have to leave things out. Do you know that it didn't remind me that it was Father's Day today? That's crazy. That is just crazy. Here's to all the dads. Yeah. I like to say here's to the fathers, the dads, the daddies, the pops, the gramps, the grandpas, the Zadies, you name it. What did you call your dad? What did you call your grandpa? Because those are the people that we really want to toast today. Because if you love somebody enough to give them a nickname, assuming it's a nice nickname, then they're the ones who need to be honored today. My cup has a coaster that goes with it today. I showed you this before. It's like my gardening mug. Not only does it have a coaster at the bottom, just like a flower pot, but it also has a shovel to stir with. I know, so cute, right? All right, so Father's Day, that's where we were. Good morning, Stephen. I would like to do a little Father's Day tribute to the father of my dogs and chickens. Yes, dogs and chickens. Because Indy is probably the most wonderful puppy and chicken daddy that ever lived. Seriously, he takes such good care of them. If it was up to me, they would eat occasionally. Their water bowl would get filled when I thought about it. The chickens, not sure their coop would ever be cleaned, let alone, me worrying about, can they do this? Are they cool enough for it? He's like so on top of it. He so takes care of the animals. I get to enjoy him. He gets to take care of them. Yeah, that's just the way it works. So, Indy, father of my chickens, father of my puppies, I salute you. And I wish you a gloriously happy day. Maybe I'll take you out for a walk later. No, maybe I won't. Because yesterday it hit over 120 again. I don't know that it's supposed to do that today. Honestly, I think we're in the teens today. I don't have the current reading. I can get you the current reading. Hang on. The current reading is, it's only 88 degrees. It's nothing. Oh, but the high is going to be 117, it says. Yeah. So I am playing tennis today. I'm going to give my knee a little tryout. And I'm playing at 7:30, so it'll be 91 degrees. Oh, and it'll be about 103 when I stop. It does get a little warm out here. Doable, but warm. So yesterday I learned a new word, Honda. Not like the car. So this is like cool. Indy taught me the word Honda so I could use it when I play Perquacky or Scrabble. Spelled just like the car, but no capital letter. It's this strange piece of metal that's kind of shaped like an upside down version of the Lululemon logo. There, now you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Okay. Anyway, that's a Honda. And he bought us these new toys. I got to practice with it. And then maybe we'll even show you a demonstration. They're called Poi, P-O-I, like the Hawaiian food, I guess. And they're these like balls. Well, they're not balls, but they're sort of spherical but elongated. And they have LED lights in them. And they're on cords that you can fit your fingers into, and you spin them around. He said it's kind of like how you learn to do fire spinning. I don't have any desire. Oh, wait a minute. Here he comes. Here they are. These are so cool, you guys. He got us each a set. We put on some really crazy music, and we just started going wild with these things. Wait a minute. They get really long or really short, and you just do them to the music. You got them on Amazon. I'm going to practice with them and get really good with them. And then I'm going to do a whole show with them. I'm so excited. Yeah. So this is what they look like. And this one's already been, the battery's already been started. So can you see that? Yeah. It's flashing a little more color than I would like. So you can do it just having it just change colors instead. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so now you know a new word, Honda. And you've seen poi balls or whatever they're called. They're so cool. I should have bought them for him. They're Father's Day presents, right? Yes, sort of, kind of. Oh, speaking of presents, do you lose things? Because I lose things all the time. And then I get really upset about them. And I miss them. And I moan and groan and bitch and complain about how I lost something. And then it turns up. It almost always turns up. I'm still missing a few things. I'm not going to lie. But yesterday, I got this really cool idea that I should look in the suitcase that I used the last time I took a trip. So I went in the garage, I got it out, I opened it up, and inside I found the plug I was looking for, a pair of my favorite tennis socks that I was like going crazy looking for, because they're thin and they're black and they're just perfect. They're perfect and they're really expensive tennis socks, and I didn't want to lose them. And I also found my kindness is contagious too mask. I thought I lost it, but I didn't lose it. It was in the suitcase. Whew. The craziest thing I ever lost was I lost this necklace that had a little diamond in it. Well, it was a good sized diamond, actually. And I couldn't figure out how I could have lost it. It was like I wore it like pretty much every day, so it should have been in that same spot, right? But I lost it. I looked everywhere. For years, I looked everywhere. I thought about it for years. Then it was time to move, and we pulled the refrigerator out to clean behind it before we left. There was my necklace. It had been sitting there for like 4 years. I know. It's crazy. What's the coolest thing you ever lost and found? What's the coolest thing you ever found? Did you return it? I found somebody's purse once with a string of pearls in it and returned it and got the most lovely letter. I love to return things that I found. Except for, like nickels and dimes and pennies. You know my rules about that, right? It doesn't matter if it's heads up or heads down. Let's get rid of that idea. My grandma told me, you find a penny, you find a penny. It doesn't matter where the head is. It's still found money, right? So finding a penny, a nickel, or a dime, that's cool. But if it's under a quarter, you have to give it away and pass on the luck. That's my rule. Yeah. So if you find a penny, a nickel, or a dime, you have to give it to somebody soon, not like hold on to it for a year and then give it away. You have to give it away and share the luck. That's just my rule about found money. Okay, I know you would be impressed if I lit the poi balls on fire and twirled them. And I'm telling you, Indy says this is how people who twirl fire sticks and stuff like that, how they get started. I think it's for hypnosis. Yes. You will love morning coffee with Sandye. Okay. Good morning, Stephen. Let's see. It is Anne and Samantha Day. So what is Anne and Samantha Day? It's a day that was started to get Anne Frank her own stamp and Samantha Smith her own stamp. Samantha Smith, at age 9, wrote a letter to the head of the USSR to find out if they were going to bomb us because she didn't want war. And somehow this little 9-year-old girl wrote a letter that was like so touching that the leaders of the USSR invited her over with her family, gave her a tour of the USSR, met with her, told her not to worry, they weren't going to bomb. She became this, I think she was 9-year-old representative of peace. Samantha Smith. So they want a stamp done for Samantha Smith. I never heard of her, but I don't know. It seems like it's time. Yeah. It's the first day of summer. That's why I forgot about Father's Day, I think, because look out your window. It's gorgeous. I wish you could see out my window. You know what you can't see for some reason? Indy rehung the bird feeder right outside my window. Yeah. And right now there's a bird sitting right there looking in the window. Hi, how's it going? Thanks for joining me for morning coffee. This little bird that's up there is eating, and then he looks over at me like, are you sure this is okay? Yes, I invited you. Thank you for coming. I get to see all the birds all the time. It's so cool. Can we talk about Father's Day for 1 minute and then we'll come back to summer? I was a daddy's girl. Yeah. My father was tough. He was loving. No. My father loved children. No. Let me see. What can I say about my father? He was fair. By his standards, he was fair. He was. In fact, in my house, we had court. Seriously, every Sunday we had court. And you could bring up whatever you wanted at court. You could narc on your siblings. You could complain about your parents. You could do anything you wanted, bring it to court. But my father was the judge. So basically, it was a sham. I'm not going to lie. But at the time, we thought it was real stuff. So we could go to court with our problems. And in all fairness, my father would listen. And if he thought we had a good argument, we did get what we wanted. Family court. Seriously, we had family court. We were required to sit at dinner every night. We could not be doing our homework. If the phone rang during dinner, it got ignored. And if we dared be late for dinner, trouble. Dinner was family time. We talked about our day. We talked about current events. There were so many things my father did that at the time we thought he was just a big meanie. And the truth is, my father prepared his children for life. I mean, he taught us about everything from how to make a decision to how to handle money. He prepared us for life. He wasn't always nice about the way he did it, but we loved him. I loved him. I won't speak for my brothers. I adored my daddy. Yeah. We had kind of the same sense of humor. He was a scientific type, math brain, but he was also artistic. He worked out of both sides of his brain. In fact, my dad seriously he was ambidextrous. He would take a pen or a pencil in each hand, and he would write simultaneously with each hand, doing mirror images, and they would both be perfect. He was amazing like that. And when it came to tennis, he was more inclined to be a lefty. So he would start playing with his right hand and then switch over and start playing with his left hand and then put those balls away. I mean, he could do anything like that. Yeah. Back in the day when family values mattered. It's true. It's absolutely true. We had family values. We traveled together every weekend as a family. Not necessarily, like get in a plane and fly away. We weren't like that wealthy, but we'd do a trip to hottttt. Hottttt was, we'd get in the car and the three of us kids would be in the back seat. My parents would be in the front seat. No seatbelts back then. And we'd be standing up because it was like, what do you call that? When it's one seat, not bucket seats. Bucket seats came later. It was one seat in the front. And we would be leaning on the edge of their seat saying, turn left, turn right, turn. And they had to follow our directions. That was the rule. Wherever the kids said to turn, Daddy had to turn. And we would end up in the most amazing places. And my mother always packed some kind of wonderful picnic lunch. I had such a happy childhood. It's ridiculous. I like to say that I had a Father Knows Best, Donna Reed kind of childhood. I did. Or at least that's the way I remember it. Not sure my brothers remember it that way. Speaking of which, Donna Reed, do you remember Paul Peterson? I do. We're friends on Facebook, in fact. Paul Peterson was the son on the Donna Reed show. And he was also kind of a heartthrob singer back in the, must have been late 50s, early 60s. I don't remember. Probably early 60s. Yeah, 60s. And he did a song that I just love that he dedicated to Alex Stone, who played his, who was his father on the show. And it was a song called My Dad, Now Here Is a Man. It's a beautiful song. I think it's beautiful. I thought it was beautiful then. I'm going to have to listen to it when we're done. See if looking back, it's as wonderful as I thought it was then. Speaking of which, oh my goodness, this was like so... You got to get how exciting this was for me. I mean, you can probably tell because I'm thinking about it and I'm like overcome with, oh my gosh, this was so cool. There's a movie that my little brother and I used to watch. It's like from 1950 something, maybe 51. It was early. My brother was just teeny, but I watched it every time it came on TV. It was a musical called About Face. It was with Gordon McRae and Eddie Bracken and Joel Grey. Joel Grey, like he's the guy from Cabaret. His daughter's Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing and Ferris Bueller, that Jennifer Grey. This was her dad. His dad was Mickey Katz, who was famous in, I guess, like the 30s. He was like crazy famous. Anyway, the movie is called About Face, and it takes place in at the Southern Military Academy. Good old SMI. It's just this happy, crazy, romantic military school show. And I wanted to see it again. And I would look and look and look on every possible channel. After cable came out, I would look and look and look and look. I couldn't find it in a store. I couldn't find it online. I couldn't find it on any channel. Finally, my little brother found somebody who had bootlegged a copy, like had, like recorded it when it was on TV. It was a horrible copy, but he made me one, and it was just too hard to listen to and look at because it was so grainy and miserable. And then yesterday, I don't know what made me look, but I went online and I typed in About Face, and it said that it was available for sale, for rental or sale, not free, but I didn't care. So for $2.99, I found it on Amazon Prime. called my brother in Arizona and said, get off the couch. Whatever you're doing, stop doing it. Go to Amazon Prime, $2.99, About Face. Call me when you have it on. And all during the show, we were sending notes back and forth to each other. Best line ever. Best song ever. Yeah, About Face. It's so good. It's so good. I guess really what I wanted to tell you was when you have a memory of something and it shines like that one did, and then you watch it again years and years later, and it still gives you that same feeling, you got a classic on your hands. Now, it may not be a classic for you. It is totally a classic for me. About Face. I could not love a movie more. I have so many dad things to talk to you about now that I know it's Father's Day. Aside from everything else, here we go. I sent some of these to Max, who just left for camp. I have a joke about trickle-down and non-economics. I have a joke about trickle-down economics, but 99% of you will never get it. That's a dad joke. How do you make a waterbed bouncier? Add spring water. I had an appointment with my psychic next week, but she just called to cancel. She said I won't be able to make it. What do you call a bundle of hay in a church? Christian Bale? I don't know about that one. I used to run a dating service for chickens, but I was having trouble making hens meet. Bump. I love dad jokes. Oh, good morning, Doug. Will you please wish your dad a happy Father's Day for me? And it's going to be his birthday in 2 days. I'm writing that down because he's not on Facebook, is he? I don't think so. Doug Graham is going to be 83 in 2 days. Happy birthday in advance. I'll remember to send him a little message. Yeah. Dads. What would we do without him? Well, I guess we wouldn't be here without him, right? Oh, I just loved my daddy. He's the one I made the bets with all the time. Yeah. I made a bet with him that turkeys were so stupid that they drowned in the rain because they would look up and they would get too much water in their gullets. I'd heard that my whole life, so I thought it was true. My father told me I was an idiot. You're an idiot. And he bet me $1 that it wasn't true, and I had to pay up. But, come on. Now, this was good. I got him. I said something about, I'll take Manhattan. No, I'll take the Isle of, whatever it is. Something about the Isle of Manhattan. And he looked at me and he said, Manhattan's not an island. I said, yeah, it is an island. No, it's not an island. I said, did you ever look at a map? He said, it's not an island. I said, okay, put your money where your mouth is on this one, Pops. How about a $5 bet? So he bet me $5 that Manhattan was not an island. I win. Did you see the door open? It's Bailey coming back in. He left for a while, but he's back now. Good morning, Bailey. Thanks for joining. Anyway, my dad. He was one of those guys who could fix anything, and he did. He fixed things. He built things. He drew things. He made things. He was like a real Renaissance man. I think that's why I'm so crazy about Indy. He reminds me of that. He's got all those same traits. You know, he can go out and build a chicken coop, put up a room, cook a dinner. Oh, my father couldn't cook. No, he definitely could not cook. Definitely could not cook. What was it he used to make for us? There was only one thing. I don't remember what it was now. Oh, it was something really easy. Maybe it was scrambled eggs. I don't know. It wasn't scrambled eggs. Whatever it was, there was only one thing my father could make. He couldn't even boil water. It's a good thing my mother was a good cook. Yeah, but not Indy. Indy can make anything. I kind of tend to stay out of the kitchen because he's like in charge there. Plus, he makes ice cream and bakes brownies, and he made cookies again yesterday, and he's so good at that stuff. I like a Renaissance man. I do. No, I know he doesn't have Facebook, but I'm going to send you something, Doug, and you're going to pass it on to him, okay? Print it out and give it to him. I know you can do that. Anyway, back to summer. Today's the first day of summer. It's midsummer. It's the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. Yeah, it's the longest day of the year. And here it's going to be 104 million degrees. Okay, look, it's a million other things, though. It's also smoothie day, vanilla milkshake day, only kind of milkshake I'll drink, and I love them. So many good things. Lionel Richie's birthday, my friend Veronica was his trainer. That's why I decided to share that with you. In 1893, Lizzie Borden was acquitted of murdering her parents and hacking them to death. Yeah. Speaking of Father's Day. Okay, the word art today, simple and easy are not the same. Just because something is simple does not mean it's easy. So be careful when you start judging yourself and getting upset because there's something you couldn't do because it was so simple. Why can't you do that? Because simple is not always easy. Keep that in mind. In the meantime, have a glorious Sunday. I'm going to go try playing doubles today. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, I love you. Have a sip. And a smile. Bye-bye, my friends. See you on Monday.